Welcome to episode 22 of the OVW Fan Zone Live. This is where fans talk back. My name is Jack Minogues.
I'm Brian Hines. How you guys doing tonight? The Revolution promises a huge night of action tomorrow night. Do we think that they're going to be able to pull it off?
I don't know. Tonight we will find out. We will make all of our predictions for Revolution Uprising and review our predictions from last week's OVW Rise.
How's everybody feeling tonight in the chat? Everybody good?
Yeah, jump into the chat. You know we love the chat. Tiny Brian, our producer, is in the chat at OVW Podcast. He'll be collecting all of your chat-worthy
your anecdotes.
Questions,
yes.
Comments, suggestions. Hi, folks. My name is Tiny Brian, and I am so
I was
happy
waiting
to be
on
with
you to
guys
come in.
tonight.
I was waiting on you
I
to
guess
come
I should just learn to cut. I was trying to let you finish your sentence, and then you could not land the plane.
I could not. It's often
glad
been
to
an
s-
issue of mine.
Glad to see
Hey,
everybody
Matthew.
is here.
Oh,
Matthew's in the chat. He'll be
what's
there
up?
tomorrow night.
Oh, good.
Great. Good to see you.
Awesome.
Missed you last week.
Yes.
So yes, this is. Let's say this right off the top, shouldn't we, gentlemen? If you have not been back to OVW since we reopened
Homecoming.
on Thursday nights, it's time. This is going to be a huge event, and we are so excited to be able to talk about it tonight.
They changed the name of the show. That's how big it is.
I mean, they marked out the OVW part of the logo. Did you see that?
A historic night at historic Hot Point Davis.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, when we put the magic window up later, you'll be able to see it.
They went full NWO on it.
Wow.
Yeah, they really did.
So I saw the thing with the Terminator eye or
Terminator
whatever you
eyes.
want to call it, but I hadn't realized all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, you've got
It's been busy this week.
It really has. You've got a great theory about that Terminator eye thing in the posters that we'll talk about during predictions a little later. In the meantime, let's get into hot topics, shall we, gentlemen?
Sure. We've
Hot topics.
Well, we did forget one thing while we're still talking about the chat.
Oh, yes.
Super chats go straight to the top.
That's
They
right.
definitely do. I'm here watching. I'm your voice. So yes, we will answer your questions later on in the show. I'm collecting those as we go along. Try to tag me in it if you actually have a question at OVW Podcast, so I get a little thing, and we will try to get your questions in tonight.
Yeah, we've got a full open show. We were only 5 minutes in on this Wednesday's edition of the OVW Fan Zone Live. Let's get into the hot topics, though, the aforementioned hot topics. We have new details on rock and wrestling at Mom's Music.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So am I correct in saying that this is a list of bands that are scheduled to perform at Rock and Wrestling?
Yes, we did get a list of both bands and also sort of just other vendors, some other things, some other attractions that will be available during this action-packed Saturday, huge program of rock and wrestling. You guys want to talk about these bands a little bit?
Sure. As of now, Brooks Ritter, Sight Unseen, Doorway, Shannon Lawson, Rockin' Cowboys,
Coy Boys.
Coy Boys?
I thought it was Cowboys.
In the
On the
I may have simply misspelled it. That is
okay.
certainly possible. But it is rockin' with no G, but with a little hyphen thing.
I just thought
that is an apostrophe.
I
and
thought they were
Cowboys
coy.
with a Z.
I just thought they were real.
Okay, so we're going to have to fact check on this, and if you typed it wrong, then we're going to have to deduct some points.
Yep.
So that's that. Also, Mojo Filter and Dusty Bow and the Contraband. I was looking into some of these bands before we did the show tonight. And,
What'd you find?
Mojo Filter seems like a good blues, southern rock kind of party band. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to that. Who was the other one I'd try to look up? I looked up Sight Unseen.
What were they like?
If YouTube pointed me in the right direction of the people I was looking for, they look like a pretty solid rockin' band.
So a little bit of a different, all music, but a little different flavors maybe.
Yeah.
Here. So
Yeah.
Brooks Ritter, I haven't got the chance to sit down and listen to him yet, but if he's not playing country music, then what is he doing?
That was my thought exactly.
So
Yeah. But we'll see. I'm sure that there's going to be something for everybody.
We've also got a ton of vendors, so a lot, not just great music, not just great wrestling, but a ton of vendors as well. Miso's Game Room.
Miso's got it. Miso's is back, baby.
Johnny Wonton's, Boomba's Pizza, some of the great pizza in Louisville there.
You know how I feel about pizza.
Sweets from the Heart.
Argent Engraving.
Butchertown Brewing, and
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
what is the price of all of this evening and afternoon of entertainment.
All of these exciting events and bands and vendors and sites and
Wrestling.
Just $20.
Just
$20.
$20.
Just 20. Just
That's it.
A bargain that you cannot find much. You cannot find much of those these days. But
You can't find
one.
a really, really good all day kind of day
not for $20.
time out for $20.
And you can, of course, that we're talking, of course, about rock and wrestling, and that is at Mom's Music in Louisville. On what's the date of that? Well, let's get into the tour updates. What's the date on rock and wrestling?
That would be October 5th. That
All right.
is next Saturday. So we've got OVW at Hot Point Davis Arena every Thursday night at 6:30. September 27th, we've got the Casey County Apple Festival in Liberty, Kentucky. LaPorte Civic Center, LaPorte, Indiana, October 4th. As we mentioned, Rock and Wrestling at Mom's Music in Louisville on October 5th. And HawkCon in Pikeville, Kentucky, October 26th. That's the first I've heard about that one. You can get all these tickets at OVWTix.com. Tiny Brian, can you give us some information about HawkCon?
So I'm pretty sure it's actually going to be at Pike Central in Pike County,
Okay.
just outside of Pikeville, Kentucky.
Now you're from there, right?
No, I'm actually from L.A.
Okay. For some reason, I was confused.
Can't you tell?
Yeah.
I mean, don't I have the classic L.A. accent? Not to mention the body.
Hello, OVW TV.
Anyway,
everyone.
that's there in Pike County, where yes, I am from. It's Pike Central, one of the oldest of the new consolidated schools.
Okay.
Because when I was a kid, there were like 20 high schools, and then over the course of the last few decades, it is now consolidated to 5 or 6 schools as they have rolled schools together. Mm-hmm. The school I graduated from no longer exists because it has now been consolidated.
And that was Feds Creek.
That was Feds Creek, yes.
As
It
you've
is now a
said.
place called East Ridge.
Because you're from Pikeville.
I'm in fact from Pikeville.
But what is HawkCon?
HawkCon? I mean, they're the Hawks.
Okay.
So it's H-A. It's not like the Hawk Tua girl. We're not celebrating her.
Haley Welch, please.
But oh yes,
Let's treat her with some respect, okay?
I'll put some respect on her name.
Hey, everybody in the
Hawk
chat.
Tua
I
on
see
there.
Wendy's with us tonight, and Ren is with us, and senior producer Victor Anderson. What's up, Vic? Brett Matthews.
But HawkCon is an event surrounding the high school there.
Yeah, and there's several things. I think it's like a wrestling, maybe kind of almost like a Comic-Con. I'm not entirely sure. I've just added this. We can certainly look it up if anyone in the chat wants to help us sell it. We're happy to hear what HawkCon involves.
The chat is often ahead of us on such things. One thing that is not wrestling related that we should mention, though, the movie red carpet premiere for Al Snow's movie on October 4th.
Yes.
Yes.
Unnatural.
Yes.
That's happening at Davis Arena, Hot Point Davis Arena.
Hot Point Davis Arena. Historic Hot Point Davis
It just
Arena.
occurred to me that we probably should have had the trailer to show right here.
Fail.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have
Maybe
we have
next
one
week.
more show before
We
that?
have one more show before that.
Do we have the trailer at all? Is it out?
We'll get one.
Oh yeah, there is a trailer. You can find it.
Well, if there is, maybe we can post it in the fan zone while we're doing this.
I'm pretty sure it's already in there, but we can probably do it fresh.
I'm sure somebody watching has already posted it or is on it.
Yes, it does star Al Snow, pre-injury, obviously,
Right. This was recorded
months ago.
months ago.
This is one of 2 movies from Al Snow that we'll have in the next few months, because there's this and then there's a Kentucky Christmas.
I was gonna say there's a Christmas related one.
Yes,
Is there
there
not?
is.
Yeah. So yeah, are we getting a red carpet premiere at both? Who knows? But we are definitely getting one for Unnatural, and I don't know. We might try to make it to that. We'll see.
So is the other one a Hallmark movie?
Yes.
Are you serious? It's a real
pretty
Hallmark
sure,
movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the Hallmark.
So Al Snow is part of the Hallmark Christmas universe.
Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, he is actually playing a character called Kentucky Joe.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure he's homeless or unhoused.
I think that
He's too jacked for that.
Neil Diamond wrote a song called Kentucky Joe back in the day, didn't he?
There
they
are
really
multiple Kentucky Joes out there. There's one that's famous for calling KSR. Basically, I guess anyone named Joseph from this state could be a Kentucky Joe.
there was a Kentucky Joe on Survivor. For back when Survivor was big. But in all honesty, who did the casting for this thing? Al is clearly eating 6 square meals a day. And they're going to have him be an unhoused
they padded
person.
him up. They're probably just,
They padded him up to make him look bigger?
I don't know.
I have some problems with the casting.
Disheveled.
I am not a costume designer.
I'm glad Al got the paycheck, got the acting experience, is going to be in the Hallmark universe, but we probably should have slid him into a much more prominent role, maybe a gym trainer.
And let's not look.
Or
Unhoused
a
people can
bourbon
look like
mogul
anyone.
or something.
Unhoused people can look like anyone, trust me, but it's in Hallmark. Do you really think that they're going to have a sensitive portrayal of the unhoused? I'm not going to give them the credit for that.
We'll see. We'll look forward to that this holiday season.
It's
And
gonna
yeah.
be a blast. I'm gonna laugh really hard either
Now,
way. It's gonna be fun either way.
is a much less nuanced story. It is the story of a gunslinger who is tasked by God to destroy supernatural atrocities to atone for his many sins.
That is right up my alley. I just watched From Dusk Till Dawn again last night. Since
good
it's
one.
just about spooky season, I'm trying to go ahead and get in the spirit, since the stores are full of candy and the good Halloween cereals. I saw Booberry and Frankenberry and
OVW's got jokes tonight. Says Al must have spent all of his housing money on protein shakes.
Before we go to break here,
Buc-ee's. He spent all of his money at Buc-ee's.
2 things that is he
That's
might have,
probably
he
just
might have.
true.
Yeah, see, I know this.
2 things before we go out here on the topic of spooky movies. Go see the Substance. Everybody go see The Substance. It's crazy movie. Get you in the mood for Halloween.
You're allowed to make a call to action here.
I know. And all tickets, of course, can be found at ovwtix.com. What are we going to see? Anything? Go ahead.
Oh,
It's almost time for a breaky break, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I guess it is. We've been merrily, we roll right along.
That's what I was going to ask. Are we seeing anything special in this break here?
At the start of this break, you will actually see a preview from this week's OVW podcast, the full video from this week's episode, which sets up a little bit of an interesting prediction that we may get into when we get into predictions in the next segment.
Who knows? Stay tuned.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
and
the thing
this
that
time
they
get a. If you've not listened to this week's episode of the podcast, here's a quick view of some of the things we talk about there, and it's going to be available for video in the morning at 9 a.m. on our YouTube channel, OVW Podcast. Go over there, subscribe, like things, do all that stuff, and watch that video when it comes out tomorrow.
And listen, I want to warn you guys, when you watch this video, this is not this is some great insight, a great conversation from my friend Brian Hines here, but that episode was probably the only 2 clippable minutes. We got in. We were deep. We were deep.
Yeah. So there's that.
So
and it's all conjecture.
Listen to that episode.
No
Stay
wagering.
tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
Okay. Here's an interesting thought. And I don't disagree with anything you just said. But I had a what if moment earlier that stemmed from our interview with Cash.
Okay.
And what people we talked to at Davis the night before had to say about, the previous night's show, because we were there the night that Cashflow won the title.
Right.
Cashflow came in and talked to us that very next day, less than 24 hours later.
Right.
With that being said, the people at Davis Arena said that Cash was acting a little different. Cash was looking a little different. When he came to see us, Cash looked a little bit different than he had the last time.
Yeah, he looked like a star.
Wouldn't it be interesting if Cash won the belt and then joined the Revolution?
Swerve.
I mean, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not saying it won't. In a world of wrestling what-ifs, what does that look like?
Come back next week. Hopefully we'll have this all straightened out.
OVW Fan Zone. Whoa.
Get your tickets.
A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. 2 entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. From counting the lights in your local armory to main eventing in Korakuen Hall in Tokyo, Japan. Collar and elbow. The wrestling brand.
Hey, it's Voice of the Valley, Eric Cornish, and I'm in the OVW Fan Zone.
I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude. Without you, there is no OVW. Without your passion, your energy, your unwavering support, there is no us. There's no talent, no production. Without you, there's no OVW. Thank you for being the driving force behind everything we do. The unsung heroes of our saga. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, OVW fans. We can't do it without you.
Hey guys, this is Joe Cooley, and I am in the OVW Fan Zone. Let's do this.
Welcome back to the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. My name's Jackman Oaks.
I am Brian Hines, and did you hear Mr. Joe?
I did. Let's do
Mr. Joe
this.
is in the Fan Zone. I can't wait to see him tomorrow night. Hey, Mr. Joe, if you're watching.
And to quote Mr. Joe, let's do this. The predictions here.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny Brian, take us away.
well,
Let's get
see.
into this. So, first of all, we will review your work for last week.
I feel like I done all right.
Then we will move forward and see where we're going from here. First of all, upon review of the competition committee, none of the appearing predictions you guys made were accurate enough to warrant pointage. So
They weren't appearing.
So we will simply leave them out in our review. We will simply stick with the matches themselves. For remembering at the start, the current point standings, Mr. Hines, you have 2 thumbs up points and 1 thumbs down point. And Jackman, you have 2 thumbs up points and no thumbs down points.
Now, how is that possible?
Yeah.
Do you hear some of the stuff I say on here?
Well, you do manage to confine your craziest stuff to the points that doesn't actually depoint you.
I'm actually wondering about the point system itself. Is this like cornhole where you get like however many points on a turn and then they take points
horseshoe
away
rules.
and then you have to do like that kind of math?
Well, this is a very there was some Finnish scientists who came up with the rules of this particular competition.
Finnish?
Yes, they are Finnish.
Okay,
That's-
I'll contact my contacts in Finland and we'll follow up on this because
they're gonna be
my
finished
squad is
whenever he's
universal.
done.
All right, so let's move into it. First, let's talk about the matches of the OVW Women's Championship #1 Contenders Tournament. First of all, between Freya the Slayer and Tiffany Nieves, we had Jackman predicting Freya with the win and Hines predicting Nieves. And Hines, you get the thumbs up, and Jackman, you get the thumbs down. Previously, you had predicted things like
Very
very weird finishes.
meta, yeah. Very
And
meta.
but this time you just kind of straight up predicted it. That's how you were managing to dodge those thumbs down points in the first round.
Thank you for the guidance, counselor. I'll make sure to keep that in mind in my future predictions.
Any thoughts on this match as we kind of maybe touch it for the very last time here? It was surprising the outcome, I think.
Was it though? I mean, if I got it right, was it really that surprising?
Do you feel surprised, Jackman?
I was not surprised.
I honestly just wanted to play a little ball. I'm not really surprised, but he'd taken Tiffany, and I just kind of went ahead with Freya. I wasn't really surprised, though. Not really surprised at the outcome either way because of the 2 women in question, right?
Right. Both of you seem to have been surprised by the second match here, Hollywood Haley J versus Angelica Risk, as Haley does take the L in this particular match, and both of you placed your hope in her, so you both received some thumbs down red points today.
That one was I was genuinely surprised about that.
Yeah, I figured Soccer Rocks was going to be for the win, but no dice.
Well,
not
and
this past Thursday.
Haley is, is OVW in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So to see her go out first round of a tournament, just kind of surprising.
Yeah, not what you would typically expect from Hollywood Haley J.
No.
I'm sure we'll see her do better, in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
finally in the penultimately, the OVW Rush Division or the Tag Team Champion. You in Tusks and Chains versus the Revolution. We will let this go forward as a bet. I understand now that we've had sports betting in this state for a year, that ordinarily this would be the thing where there would be no bet, and you would just kind of, because we did not have a TW3 to form Tusks and Chains.
Right.
But Jack Vaughn made an adequate replacement, and it all worked to your good anyway, because you both did predict the Revolution would win. Brian, you predicted the Revolution would win with help, and absolutely that happened, as Doug Basham did hit the veteran Jack Vaughn with the championship belt to allow them to score the pinfall.
Yeah, that win was leatherific.
Yeah, and I think I had predicted a 2-on-1, and then just Donovan getting overcome.
Beaten up, yeah. So not quite that. So, Brian, you actually get 2 thumbs-up points for that, because you managed to make the extra good prediction. Jackman, you do come away with 1 thumbs-up point there.
Thank you. I'll take it.
So our final match that we were able to predict last week was for the OVW Rush Division Championship. Cal Hero versus Jamin Olivencia. You both put your money figuring that the Revolution would continue to dominate. A completely reasonable notion, given the power and authority that the Revolution has been exercising low these last few weeks.
Right.
However, the stars were not with you last week, and in some ways, maybe thankfully, we do like to see Cal Hero and the way in which this was done. Just an amazing match, just an incredible display, and Cal Hero coming away Rush Division champion
with a standing O, no less.
Yeah, stealing
Jamin Olivencia's finishing move.
SmackDown in 2003 style, stealing Jamin Olivencia's finishing move to beat him. Jamin Olivencia's finishing move is killer. The standing O is amazing. And I love the story of like Cal having to go to a deep place and pull something out of his arsenal to defeat Jamin. Not only was the psychology tight, but the in-ring performance. Those 2 boys went to town on each other, and you should be really proud of yourselves as performers, and as fans, guys, you should be really proud that you get to see that week in and week out at OVW.
Yeah, and
it's best to actually be there. It was, to coin a phrase, electrifying.
It was one of the finest, if not the finest, professional wrestling match I've ever seen in person.
That was by far the absolute best wrestling match I've ever seen that featured a plunger on a man's head.
It did have a plunger on a man's head.
Absolutely that.
I'm going to assume everyone here in the chat has seen it. If you haven't, go see it. In fact, if you have, go watch it again, because it's that good.
I mean, at this point, it's been out. We've talked about it. OVW Overdrive has recapped it all with video, which is why we don't do it. Some people wonder why we don't actually show videos of Rise. Overdrive already did it. Go watch Overdrive. They
Tuesday
do a great
nights
job
on this very channel,
recapping over match by match with video and everything. So go watch their thing. We don't try to intrude on what they're up to over there at Overdrive.
No, we have our own thing.
Yeah, we
really have the Fan Zone. We have you guys over on Wednesday nights at 7:00, and we just sit and hang out
in the luxurious Blimp Studios.
Yeah, talk about OVW and other random things. And I suspect that in addition to OVW, we'll be talking about more Halloween stuff here later, because it's going to be about that time.
About that time.
It is.
It's about that time.
Oh, and in case you can't tell at home, this is a collar and elbow shirt.
It's a Ouija board.
Yes, it is a Ouija board. It's one of my favorite ones. I don't think that you can get it online anymore, because I believe it is out of print.
Mm-hmm.
But my hope is that they start making these again. But in this next time, all of the print is glow in the dark, because I think that would be extra spooky. But that's just me.
Also, throw it on a sweaty. It's fall, you know.
Yeah,
it's getting cold outside. Throw it on a little sweaty. All right, let's get into the predictions for this next.
Well, let's do this. At the end of the recap,
okay.
Our current point totals are: Brian, you have 5 thumbs up points and 3 thumbs down points. So you're still comfortably ahead of
super
your
chat.
Super chat. I'm not looking at the top screen right now. OVW Fan Zone. Join if you can. That is our good buddy, I bet, Jason O'Hara.
Are you sure?
OVW Fan Zone Jason. That's our boy.
1,300 OVW fans in the Fan Zone now.
That's great. Great community out there.
It's a great
1,300
community.
1,300 Elvis fans can't be wrong.
No,
kids.
and it is a great community. Come join us there. Jason is absolutely right.
Yeah.
So yes, you've got 3 to 5. So you are actually in position maybe to cash in some sort of special benefit,
Okay, so we
like a favorite dessert, or
I don't
something.
really like a whole lot of sweets.
Well,
Do what?
Okay, I do. Don't get me wrong. I do some, but I try really hard not to
Excuse
like.
me?
Maybe we'll get you a very freshly fried chicken tender, something that I know you'll enjoy. We'll figure something out.
We'll
Beef
come up with
jerky.
something.
Jackman.
Yeah, beef jerky. For
Fried
sure.
chicken tender covered in Grippo's dust.
Jackman, you are currently
Okay.
3 thumbs up to 3 thumbs down.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to make best use of your predictions this week.
Nah.
All right. Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
We have, looks to be 3. Let's go ahead and get the first one up there. It is, welcome the Magic Window, everybody. A little bit into their head, Magic Window.
Hey,
Can
Magic Window.
Should I
Bark,
get
bark.
that?
No, hang on. We'll
Is this shot better?
Thanks, Easter Bunny. Bark, bark.
Can they see my face now if I'm down
What
here?
about this now?
Yeah.
I mean, I could like just full on
Is this
lay
better?
down. I don't care.
Okay,
Here's
so
the magic
yeah.
box.
Yes, that's the magic box. You're touching Ryan Von Rocket. Our first match here is Dustin Jackson, Louisville's own crowd favorite, versus the unstoppable Rock of one Mr. Ryan Von Rocket.
Do I have to do the whole segment down here like I'm that girl
No.
from that
Feel free to
anti-pot
actually-
commercial?
Let's just sit back up. Let's have some.
Are we sure about this?
All right. So Ryan Von Rocket versus Dustin Jackson. You put it the best, Tiny Brian. Louisville zone, Kentucky zone, hot, white meat, baby face inside of OVW right now, going up against Ryan Von Rocket, tried and true journeyman, kind of on a winning streak of his own recently.
I mean, it's because you can't stop the Rock,
because you can't stop the Rock. This is
and you
true.
never will.
Well, and he's fresh back.
He's fresh
having
back.
been off for a while,
Yeah.
he looks rested.
Looks
less,
great.
He
Looks
looks
great.
less glittery. Can we talk about the fact that Ryan? I
Clearly
don't come
applying
home covered
less
in
glitter.
glitter anymore, so he has turned down the glitter some.
Well, you do, but it's not from OVW.
Not from OVW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
different
a little
establishment.
bummed about that, but that's okay. You know,
It's from an
whatever-
establishment
whatever
on
you
the
do.
other side of the neighborhood of Davis Arena.
Yeah.
What do you think? Let's start with you, Brian Hines.
I don't know, man. I mean, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. Do I think Dustin Jackson can stop the Rock? I don't know. I kind of want Ryan Von Rocket to, keep on rocking. But what's going to happen tomorrow night? I kind of feel like Dustin Jackson might get it, but I'm not 100%.
I'm going to go so far as to say that not only should Dustin Jackson win, Dustin Jackson has to win. That's not a super chat,
do we have
technically.
Technically, it is not a super chat, but Ito Kozako gifted 5 OVW TV memberships.
Our friend Ito.
And that is a pretty big deal. So, gracias. Thank you very much.
Brian Kinnison, who is in the chat this evening.
What?
Good evening, voice of OVW.
Hey, Brian Kinnison.
He was gifted a membership.
Good
by
evening,
that
sir.
automatic membershiping thing. So, hello, Mr. Kinnison. Good evening.
And now, Brian Kinnison, I'm so glad that you're going to be able to watch all the OVW that you could want. You'll be able to catch up with it here on YouTube. I'm glad that you finally have a membership to watch OVW.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so glad.
far overdue. So I'm going to take your all's predictions as Dustin Jackson over Ryan Von Rocket. We are unanimous in a podcast broadcast team.
At this current time, yes. However, I would like to circle back around to something that we pointed out at the beginning of the show. In this graphic, in the magic box, right?
Oh, yes.
Are we still up there?
The Dustin Jackson Ryan Von Rocket?
Yeah.
Yes, that is the box. that is
So,
currently showing.
is my hand
Can't stop the
under,
box.
or is it behind the box or in front of the box?
It is your finger is behind the box.
Behind
It'll
the box.
always be behind the box.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see up here in this graphic, but Ryan Von Rocket has the Terminator eye.
Yes, several figures in these posters you'll notice have Terminator eyes
Right.
as we look at them.
So,
let's jump into that.
Terminator eye, I don't know if it's like pink eye and it just spreads like that. But we're talking in the graphics this week, Ryan Von Rocket. We're talking Donovan Cecil. We're talking who? Who else?
Well, we'll keep an eye out as we move through these.
I have not gone. I'm not really on the social media. I kind of like to be surprised.
We haven't actually mentioned that recently, but Jackman is not on social media.
No, not really my thing, guys.
No, but overall, about as often as we've mentioned that you're from Pikeville, so it's kind of 6 of one, half a
That's
dozen
true.
of the other. Yeah.
All right, so you want to point out you think that there's a possibility maybe Ryan is going to wind up sleeping with the enemy, so to speak? A member of the Revolution?
I think he's going to go back in time and kill John Connor's father.
Okay, interesting.
1984.
Dustin Jackson, resoundingly for me.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to our second bout of the evening. That is Junta Peso versus Will Austin.
Running it back.
About a matchup that I've never been sad to hear was going to happen.
No.
I guess I'll go first this time. You went first the last time.
Sure.
That's a deadlock, man. That's hard. That's a really hard place to kind of figure any sort of strategy on how to figure it out. Of Hoda Peso, one of the most beloved people. Will Austin, though, known as being a liar and a cheater. And whenever you are willing to lie and cheat to win, it's hard for a good stand-up guy like Hoda to pull one over. I'm going to go Will Austin.
All right, Will Austin.
Well, I figured as much because you've been team push Will Austin since Jump.
And that
is true.
That also has a little bit to do with it.
Yeah.
Ron,
I did talk to him earlier today. We were texting.
Interesting.
We were Snapchatting.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Interesting. Brian, do you also wish to push Will Austin?
Maybe in front of a train.
Yeah, I knew I was going to.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
We are a non-violent podcast.
I never advocate for violence except for Thursday nights from 7 to 9, in which case you can knock yourself out.
We're a non-violent podcast until Brian Hines keeps talking that stuff about my boy Will Austin over there.
The chat room seems to be firmly behind Peso, Brian. Are you going to agree with them?
And that's where my head's at. I mean, Will Austin, dangerous, unhinged, not good for the American people.
The future.
I feel like it's got to be Hoda Peso. He has my vote.
I am definitely in favor of Junta getting a string of wins under him again to start building that resume.
Or a string of
maybe look
wings.
for the Rush division, maybe the media championship. I would like to see him get in one of those conversations.
Sure.
So yeah, my heart is with you. My head is probably with Jackman. Luckily, I don't have to vote in this game. The Finn said so. So let's get into
again. I'll check with my Finnish people.
Let's get into.
Let you know.
Oh, wait a minute. That is not who. Well, let's just do this one now.
Yeah, no. Whoever's on the screen,
yes.
let's talk about him. I can't see the screen.
Let's go ahead and talk about our main event.
Okay.
What is sure to be our main event, which is Cash Flow versus Shira.
Without a doubt.
Oh.
So let's first of all talk about the little piece of the podcast that we heard earlier, Brian.
Let's talk about that, but can I make a request?
Sure.
When we decide, we only say one word. Both me and you just say
who wins?
Yes.
Okay.
But let's have the conversation.
Okay.
And then when it's time to make the actual prediction, no hemming and hawing, we say it on the count of 3, our predictions.
Okay.
They don't have to be the same, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Well,
that is going to be a hard-fought match. I mean, how many times have we seen Shira versus Cash in the past?
Well, I can't really think. We've seen them together a lot recently.
I guess certainly know each other.
Definitely. What in terms of like what we've previewed from our podcast, the potential of Cash maybe joining the Revolution. What do you?
Again, that was just a theory, but we both kind of agree that this match could spawn somebody leaving Team OVW and possibly joining the Revolution. I think it's entirely possible. I think that, any of that could be possible, or any of Team OVW could join the revolution at any given point. I don't know.
All right. OVW itself says that's a lot of man meat going at it.
It's a lot of man meat.
It is, in fact, a lot of man
Big
meat
men,
going at
big
it.
men slapping man meat.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of kinetic energy starting at probably about 8:30 tomorrow.
Meaty-rific.
And Victor called it the golden match, which I think is a great a thing. And just to be clear, I believe it is Shira with the Terminator eye in this poster to go with your theory.
Really interesting.
You want to make the prediction?
Are you guys going to do like say it at the same time kind of thing? Is that what I'm understanding?
You're going to count us to 3, and we're going to say it.
You ready, Brian?
I don't know who I'm going to pick. I honestly don't. So I'll just say one at the drop of a hat.
Sounds good.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Shira.
Look at that. You guys, I love when you guys do things as a team.
Shira, though, for me, the opposite of you. Shira's the turn.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't have a horse in this race. I am not heavily vested in it. This is a point where I am just happy to be sitting back as a spectator to just watch the show unfold as it happens.
No, and I just it's going to be an interesting match. There's going to be, whatever happens, there's going to be a huge turn. I don't think you get to the end of that match without a huge turn. Now who it is, hard to say. But I guess, do you think Shira wins after cash turns, or Shira win? What are you thinking? What is the process for Shira winning?
I don't know. I mean, just given one-on-one, I feel like it'll be a hard-fought match, but ultimately Shira will come out on top.
And no shenanigans? Pure respect, ring of honor rules, we go out and shake hands, all that?
I mean, I guess.
I just want to get a snapshot in my mind of what
where
your
your head's
prediction
at.
looks like. Yeah. Like I said, I think Shira turns. But we arrived at the same place through 2 different trains, my friend. What do we have next?
Okay, let's get into the final women's match that we know about, which is Freya the Slayer versus OVW Women's still relative newcomer, Carter Kaufman. We've seen her in the Women's Nightmare Rumble. We've seen her, I think, a couple of other times besides that. But, so this is – I'm not sure if this is a women's number 1 contenders match. We know that Freya was – we know Freya was eliminated. However – as Freya was pretty adamant to tell me last week, she had pretty good video evidence that her shoulders never hit the mat. So maybe she has a way to fight her way back into it here.
Right. Well, we'll see. Let's see.
We're
Anything
rooting
is possible. Yeah, we love Freya. This whole thing is in no small part due to Freya taking a chance on us. So
Absolutely.
Our
love
interviewee.
Freya.
Yeah.
Oh, and in case anybody has not posted it in the fan zone from us, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling, I would like to take this opportunity to say happy late birthday to Freya the Slayer.
Happy birthday, Freya.
Happy birthday.
I did find a sweet sweatshirt earlier that I thought about getting her. Just like I didn't know it was her birthday, but I know it was not gonna fit. It was not big enough, but it said bred in Alaska and had like the shape of Alaska. It was like an 80s tourism sweatshirt. It was
that's
It was
awesome.
really cool. It was really cool. I wish I could have fit in it, but it was like a child's.
So, do we think Carter can
or just very
upset?
shrunk.
Do we think that Carter Kaufman can upset the Queen of the North here?
No.
No.
All right. So
Not
we
it.
You
are-
could have bought it for Freya's dog. Was it that kind of small?
No, it wasn't small enough for her cute little pup.
All right. Let's we both took Shira in that.
It was like a medium from the 80s that had shrunk to like a kid's large.
All right, let's get into the appearances and events and just kind of give your thoughts on these quickly, and we'll move through them. First is Tony Gunn, Shotgun Tony Gunn, got some new Titan music. I think I saw on the internet coming, a new song maybe. Not that we hear it at OVW right now. He'll probably just be using the Revolution music. But what do you think is going to happen with Tony? Any predictions? Matches? What is he going to talk about?
I think he's going to be on commentary
I actually was going the exact same
during
place.
Cash Flow and Shira, maybe.
Interesting.
I'm not going to go that far, but I think commentary is a good place for old Tony Gunn tomorrow night.
Do you think he's going to talk about whiskey?
I think he very well could. Hopefully he'll come visit us one day and we can all talk about whiskey.
Yeah, we can try
Hopefully.
whiskey together.
All right, let's move on. Next up is Sophia Rose.
I'm going to put her in a match against...
Stomping the crap out of somebody.
Yeah, I'm going to put her in a winning match against somebody.
Yeah,
There she was.
I agree.
Maybe,
There she is.
Maybe, let's see. Let me pick a name out of a hat here. Women's division, name out of it. Let's.
So you both say she's going to win whatever match she's involved with, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Jackman, I would love to hear your thoughts on who you think she's actually going to fight.
It's hard because I don't know who's.
Has she already participated in the tournament?
I don't think so. I think there were just 2 matches from the tournament last week.
And she wasn't in either of them.
Maybe
so-
she'll have a match against Nova.
Nova Fury?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
bite
going
on
to
that.
go with that.
I'd bite on that.
I'm going to give you both the Nova Fury. So if she actually wins and actually faces Nova Fury,
No, I
you guys
think-
are going to get bank points.
I think that should just, in all fairness to the point system, I think that should just be Brian Hines.
All right.
I was still searching for a name, and he actually pulled one out. So
All right, let's move on to the Mammoth, Kentucky's strongest man, Donovan Cecil. What do we think he is doing tomorrow?
I think he's going to be lifting about 850 or 900 pounds.
and that's just before the
That's
show.
just
That's just
before,
before the show.
He'll post a video of that. We know that's happening.
Yeah, he will.
You know what I would really like to see from Donovan, since this is just the appearances thing and we don't really lose points here. You know what I would really like to see from Donovan is a promo.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Is that your prediction?
Yeah. Just a promo. Hey, I don't know what happened with TW3. I'm a man without a country right now. But I'm still here. I'm Team OVW. I'm Donovan doing Donovan things. Donovan being the Donovan that we've seen him on our podcast, the Donovan that we've hung out with, the Donovan that we know him to be. Show that to the people in OVW for the first time with a promo.
He's got promos before.
Yeah, but I want this one
not by himself.
I want this one to be a different promo. I want this one to be focused on Donovan and focused on, hey, I know my tag team partner's not here and I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I promise to fight for OVW, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of what I would like to see. But
Brian,
Yes.
what do you think? Anything?
I kind of feel like he's gonna. Well, I don't know, man. I'd like to see him and Dalton McKenzie either in a singles match or just talking smack, because I think that they're pretty evenly matched. And after that match last week, I feel like he's got some things in his chest that he needs to get off his chest.
do you think that the card can have any more men slapping man meat if there's both Cash and Shira and Donovan and Dalton on the card?
That's a lot. We may have to.
We might have to call the fire department
or the geological survey,
Or wash your mouth out with soap, because I just feel dirty after hearing that. I'm kidding.
It's just big men slapping man meat. It's fine.
All right, let's move on.
So the whole Terminator Eye thing. What if everybody in these graphics that had the Terminator Eye
all turned
out to be Team Revolution tomorrow night?
I will buy you a puppy.
I don't have room for a puppy right now.
Then I'll buy you a stuffed puppy. Or something. We'll figure something out.
Okay, well let's make it food related, because I like the foods. But we can negotiate. That's fine.
Yes.
2 for $25 at Applebee's.
Let's get on to our last appearance, which is Super Z from Parts Unknown. We got to go to Parts Unknown. I'm planning our trip.
We have
are
found
going
out
to
where
Parts.
we have
an idea.
We have now we think we know where Parts Unknown is.
I know someone who knows,
Which
we're
makes
working
it
on it.
partly known.
I don't
partly
really
known.
know, but
It's
I
partly
know
known.
someone who might know. So we're gonna try it. Anyway, Super Z, parts unknown. What do you think?
Super Z wins. That's what I think. I don't know. Tag team match, Star Rider.
The Superstars?
Is that a common? Do we both think that?
That is my guess. I can't speak for my.
I feel like there's going to be a story-moving vignette that features Super Z.
Yeah, I think we need to get back to the Super Z story.
An in-ring appearance, but I think it'll be more before the actual 7 to 9 segment, the Overdrive segment, because he's really good at hyping up the crowd and gets all the kids excited.
Gets everybody excited. Super Z, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets the kids literally levitating. It's bizarre to watch.
It really is.
And our very last thing is Doug Basham is going to be addressing the Cal Hero Rush Division win. Anything to think about this? Do we think he's going to throw Cal out for the week again like he did Cash last week?
I believe that he is going to reward him with a extra large gift certificate to Men's Warehouse so he can also wear the leather pants.
You think they got those at the Men's Warehouse?
I'm sure they do.
Maybe in the back.
You're going to love the way you look, I guarantee it.
That's a different part of the Men's Warehouse. That's the
BDSM.
Man, that's what I was going to say, and then I didn't want to say it because we're on OVW TV. The BDS Men's
stands
Warehouse.
for
BDS Men's Warehouse.
Briskly dressed,
supercut
machine, because he's the machine.
Machine.
Doug is the machine.
Yeah, the machine.
Pain is a cleanser. Let's move on.
I think that Cal's going to be outside. He's going to come in through the side door, and he's going to be like, I hate bullies. And Doug Basham's going to bully him.
Okay. Not much I can... yeah.
They're going to confront each other. He's going to set another match. By the end of the night, we will have a new Rush Division stand-in for Jamin Olivencia and Cal Hero, and this new stand-in will go to battle. So
we'll set another match, is what you think.
Yes.
Brian?
Okay.
Sounds reasonable?
Sure.
All right.
All right.
Well, we are running a little behind, so why don't we go ahead and get into our final break? We will come back. We have some questions from you, but there is still time for you to get your questions in.
Hurry up.
We will get to that in just a couple minutes. This is Fan Zone Live.
Last segment up next.
Former WWE superstar and owner of OVW, Al Stowe here. We're at Mom's Music, right here in the heart of Louisville, Kentucky, one of the biggest and largest music stores in the area, and we're proud to announce with the owners Jeff and Bob that we are going to be holding the first rock and wrestling show October 5th. Make sure you come out and check it out. It's going to be a blast. Why not, right, guys?
We're super excited to have these guys from the OVW in our parking lot. Rocking and wrestling just goes together like peanut butter and jelly. You got to come down and see it, see the athletes perform, see the bands get down and play some rock and roll. We're going to have vendors, food trucks, anything you possibly want, all for $20. October the 5th. Mom's Music.
Be there, be there.
I'm Sarah, and I'm with the OVW Fan Zone.
I'm Christian, and I'm with the OVW Fan Zone.
I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude. Without you, there is no OVW. Without your passion, your energy, your unwavering support, there is no us. There's no talent, no production. Without you, there's no OVW. Thank you for being the driving force behind everything we do. The unsung heroes of our saga. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, OVW fans. We can't do it without you.
A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connects emotionally for people everywhere. From counting the lights in your local armory to main eventing in Korakuen Hall in Tokyo, Japan. Collar and elbow. The wrestling brand.
I'm Linda Fife, and I'm in the OVW OVW Fan Zone.
Welcome back. Final segment here on the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. I'm Jackman Oaks.
I'm Brian Hines.
Why are you making that face?
Because I felt like making that face.
You're making me feel a kind of way over here behind the camera.
Good.
Me too, a different kind of way. All right, let's get into it. Tiny Brian, our producer, our dear producer.
Yes.
What is the chat saying tonight?
So let's see what some things we have talked about. Annalisa Miranda asks, how many people do we think will be in leather tomorrow? I mean, we know the one.
In the crowd or in...
I mean, just in general. Do we think
all around the world? Or
I mean, no, at Hot Point Davis Arena.
I really do think that they should all lead into the leather thing, because the leather thing is really over for the part of the audience that likes the Revolution.
Sure.
I think.
So
they
you
should
think
just
the
go
whole
for it.
Revolution should be in leather?
If I was doing it, yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would
So
like.
they could all just look like they're in a 90s post-apocalyptic movie.
Listen, the Revolution part of the audience would lose their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no numbers. We just think the Revolution should all wear leather. I can get behind that.
Yeah. I don't see a whole lot of folks in the crowd doing it, but if there were leather masks at the merch booth, I could see them moving rather quickly. Do we know whether or not the masks...
novelty use only.
Do we know whether or not the masked men, whether those masks were leather?
I don't think that.
No, I think
Lord,
they
I
were
hope
cloth.
Yeah,
I think
but-
they were just standard balaclavas, but
not. That would have been
Okay.
rough for those
Can you
boys.
can you spell that?
no,
Okay.
I can't
I
spell
didn't think so.
anything.
BALACLAVA.
You have seen my notes, Mr. Hines. You know I can't spell.
Yes, that's correct.
Annalisa Miranda also asked, did everyone see Luke Curtis get squashed on a certain Connecticut-based wrestling program?
We were just talking about that before we went on.
We were, and I did not, although I heard it happen. It's been a busy time for OVW alum.
Yes, it really has been. Yeah, he was dressed for security role
Yes.
and got stacked on top of another person dressed for security role, and then they got frog splashed.
Yes.
Well, and here's
Was that Braun Breaker who did that?
no, that was oh gosh,
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. Yeah, I couldn't think of his WWE name. I kept wanting to call him his Japan name. Yeah, no, and here's the thing. It's not hard to find a YouTube compilation of before WWE appearances before they were stars. And it's MJF, Ricky Starks, even Charlotte, Sasha Banks, or Mercedes Moné. It's big-time stars that had these seemingly innocuous roles. Mm-hmm. And Luke has racked up a handful of these seemingly innocuous roles over the last month.
Making friends, making contacts.
Yeah.
He and Layla, of course, are at the New Japan Dojo in L.A. for the next few months.
We wish them the very best.
And we hope to see them again soon.
And I hope that the New Japan dojo is certified by the time it's all over with.
I'm pretty sure it's been certified. But yes, you're right. Luke has been working at Connecticut. He's worked at AEW. He's been everywhere recently.
When you're a guy like that consistently gets the call, that's a really good place to be. Now, would it be better to be making the big money and have your name on the Chiron and not be getting thrown all over the place? Yeah, it is. But that's how you get to getting your name on the Titantron. That's how you get to the main event, is being the guy that is can show up and will do what he's asked to do every single time.
Wendy speculates that we're all Elvis fans in the chat now.
I am.
Yeah, because I believe you made the comment about so many thousand
1,300 Elvis fans can't be wrong.
Yes,
That's
and
right.
so we're apparently we're a hunka burning fan base. Is
One
what
of
we are
these
in the fan
times,
zone.
I need to bring him over so he can join us on the set.
That would be weird. Then
Yeah, you should.
Sacrilegious Heathen actually asked Brian Kennison, and I thought we would just address this because it seemed fun to me. Who are you going to bash in the head next? Apparently, he believes that Kennison is a heel of some sort.
Is the person who took out Mick Foley and has done all these other things that we haven't been able to solve in the OVW world? Yeah, I believe it.
Oh, OVW mentions, OVW TV in the chat mentions CM Punk was a security guard and did these small roles, just as we've been seeing Luke do recently.
Yep.
So,
Really?
so
He was one of the John Cenas at the, or no, not he was not one of the John Cenas at the multiple John Cena entrance. He was one of John Cena's Mafia crew member guys in that WrestleMania entrance.
Last comment comes from our senior producer, Victor Anderson, who in the chat advised that we should bring back Katie Gannon to hang out with Ron Von Rocket, presumably, because that's when it came up.
Well, I'm sure that Victor would love to see Katie again. And so would Doug Basham.
Sacrilegious Heathen seems to think that Brian Kennison was the one who got Mick Foley. Maybe we'll solve that thing someday. Who knows?
Yeah, we just kind of talked about
Like
that.
I said, Sacrilegious Heathen. I buy it. I think we're onto something. That Brian Kennison, too nice. Can't trust a guy. Can't trust a guy that's too nice.
I
trust
love,
a guy that's too good, but you can't trust a guy that's too nice.
I'm a fan of Brian Kennison, and that's just
I
the way
love
we're
Brian
gonna stay.
Kennison too. Brian Kennison's always been so
Always.
nice to me.
All right, guys, great job tonight. Let's do the calendar, shall we?
Let's do it.
First thing in the morning at 9 a.m., you can see the video version of OVW Podcast number 64, as that premieres over at OVW Podcast on YouTube. We will share that to our social media feeds once that is out, so go watch that before tomorrow night, starting at about 6:15, because they're getting earlier every week. They're cramming in more and more matches.
Well, it's about the time change. So.
Yeah. So get there early, and stay, and OVW Rise live from Hot Point Davis Arena. We cannot stress that enough. We will be here on Sunday night, hopefully.
The arena's back and looking better than ever, guys.
really
if you
is.
haven't visited it since before their break, go
And
do yourself a
very
favor.
comfortable in there.
Go
and
do
the
yourself a
lighting,
favor.
the lighting itself is worth the
The
price of
production
admission
team,
alone.
who would probably be annoyed at me if I started naming names, but you know who you are. They are doing an incredible job. One guy in particular doing an incredible job with the revamp of Hot Point Davis Arena. The lights are incredible. Come see it live. You will not be disappointed. Sunday night, we will be here breaking down that episode of OVW Rise for the OVW Podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. Join us for that live, and if you can't, we will have the audio version of our podcast that very next morning. And
The video later in the week.
The video later in the week. Hopefully, we will have an interview for you next week. We'd hope to have one this week, but these people have busy lives, and it's hard to get them in here for an interview.
They've got more important stuff to do than to come talk to us losers.
That is very true. So, but we hope to have somebody for you this next week, and we are very excited about it, but we're not going to talk about it fully just yet. But next Tuesday, 7 p.m., right here on YouTube, OVW Overdrive, Brian Kennison, Dancing Stevie J, bringing you all the action from the pre-show at the live show, and also whatever kind of antics they're up to this week.
There's something all the time going up on OVW's YouTube page, whether it's live or re-edited content. They've been doing a great job over there, and we are more happier than ever to be a part of some of that content.
Matthew's going to get some good pictures tomorrow. Maybe we will show them a week from today when we are back with the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back.